Welcome everyone to day 7 of the Freedom Queen Archetype Challenge. How is everyone doing? Let's see who's here. Val's in Mexico. Val, I'm so excited. We're going to be in freaking France, in Paris, or somewhere in France at the end of this year. I'm so excited. I'm heading to Playa del Carmen. Oh my gosh, Freedom Queens around the world. Annie's here, Melissa's here, Annie's in the bath. I knew you would like lift off. Annie's in the headquarters and you just had like a crazy, super one of your highest months in business. Crystal's here, Katie's here. Hi, Katie. Katie, you are going to take over the world. I'm so excited. Linda's here, Lorena, Ebony. Hey, Ebony. Chloe, Victoria, Julia. Julia's in the headquarters. Mara, Leandra, Rashida, Katharina, Aspen, Amanda's here. Amanda just joined the headquarters. Welcome, Amanda. I'm so excited to be here with you all today. I'm at my son's martial arts class. I love it. Come on. So excited to be here. Hi, Sarah. Val, I've been looking at hotels and we're going to be in the most Freedom Queen, like luxury place ever. I know we still have to plan it, but I've been already looking at different locations. So how are you feeling, first of all? How many of you, maybe you have some trainings to catch up on? How many of you would say, though, like you've been really present during these last 7 days together? And if you haven't, that's okay, because you can just go back and, we're going to leave this challenge available for you guys to watch the replay. But how many of you have felt like throughout the last week, you've really been working on the Freedom Queen formula? You're like, this is what I know I need to be doing inside of my life. I need to utilize the archetype. I need to actually be her every single day. And maybe you've been seeing how in your business, you've been not showing up as the Freedom Queen. I built a business to $1 million in 27 months. And then I said, let's freaking send it. And let's do another million in 10 months. And our next million, it's about to be in like a day. Honestly, watch me do something. I'm so glad that you're here. Binge watching all week. We're going to be sending out the replay. So if you didn't, like, spend this Sunday, just like cuddle up in a bathtub or with your family or whatever, like put me on the screen and just have some time really diving into it this week. But what I want to do for you today is walk you through how I'm taking the Freedom Queen archetype and actually implementing that into my everyday life, and how we already have been, but in a deeper way this year. And I'm going to show you how over the next 6 months, I'm going to take Freedom Queen to $200,000 months in monthly recurring revenue. So this is not like a cash injection, right? Like a big boom, make a bunch of money in 1 month. This is strong building over time. And the funny thing is someone yesterday said to me inside of the mini mind, she's in the headquarters and she bought the extra mini mind for this challenge. And she said to me, I love this woman dearly. She was like, how did you turn a $50,000 investment into $150,000? How did you do that? Remember on Wednesday when I talked about that on our day 3, which was moving mountains? Making moves that just don't make sense, but they make sense in your soul. You remember that on day 3, I talked about that. Put a yes in the chat. Remember, I talked about the $50,000 investment. I had 2 opportunities. I said, I can do this and I can invest it and I can get in the room, or I don't have to invest. I can go back to Costa Rica and keep living my life that I was living. And ultimately I decided I want to move. I want to make this big move. I didn't need it. I already had mentorship. I had already kind of invested in this person before, but I said, like, this is not about them. This is about me and my decision for my life. And so yesterday, a headquarters client in the mini mind chat telegrammed me and said, like, what did you do? How did you do that? Did you like manifest it? And I made the post today on purpose because I can tell you what I sold. I sold some content sessions. I sold our headquarters. I sold our mastermind. I can tell you that, but that information doesn't matter, because you can't take that same information and go into your business and go, okay, now I'm going to plug this into my business. Now I'm going to plug in, I'm going to sell the headquarters. I'm going to sell the content. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So this is what I said to her. I said, I turned a $50,000 investment into $150,000 a month and 2 weeks later because of who I was being. I didn't wait to become someone that can make $150,000 in a month and 2 weeks. I said, I'm going to do this now. It was actually about like a month and a week. I'm not going to delay. And we talked about this last week. When you decide you're going to go for something, when you decide that you're going to go after something really, really amazing in your life, it's likely that challenges will come up. It's not always the case. It's not always the case that when you go after something, I don't want to scare you. But during that season of my life, I had invested $50,000 and all of these things started to happen. Put a yes in the chat if you saw today's post. And if you haven't, you'll have to go look at it after this call. All of these things started happening. And most people would have said, I'm done, pull the plug, I'm out of here. Instead, I said, let's freaking go. Where are you pulling the plug? Because in these 7 days together, and today's going to be like my favorite call ever. So congratulations on being here. Today's going to be amazing because over these last 7 days, I've shown you the Freedom Queen archetype. I've shown you like, this is who I am, because this is so much more important, you guys. Are you picking up what I'm putting down with this? Like, this is so much more important because you can have the best content. You can have the best, you know how to go viral, but I've seen it before. People, even if you know how to go viral, even if you know how to do these things, eventually things will change. And if your entire business plan to make however much money it is that you wanted to make was built upon some external strategy that actually isn't backed by anything that's strong, eventually it will fail. And this is why I said last year, I'm about to blow everything out of the water. Those external things will always change. Zoom will change. Instagram will change. TikTok will change. People will change. But if you become someone that is rock solid in who she is, that is innovative and creative, that no matter what, she's moving mountains. When the trolls come, when the challenges come, she's able to actually hold all of that and use a challenge as a wisdom-making machine. Oh my God, I have chills right now. So much wealth is going to come your way. And then you will be someone who can learn the newest strategy that's working. You will be someone who can learn the new platform, learn how the market's changing. That's what I want you to be able to do, because no one can take that away from you. People can take away your account, your whatever it is. They can take away anything, but they can never take away the person that you became. Sarah says, I was so glad that you shared that because it feels more possible. I feel like I can handle the situations better myself now. Yes. I saw Melissa just joined. Hi, Melissa. Melissa just joined the headquarters too. How many of you have your eyes on the headquarters still? How many of you are like, oh my gosh, I need to apply for that program. I need to get my application. And we're going to talk about that today too, but not right now. Chloe's like, me. I know some of you are like, I see you. And I'll walk you through that today. Maybe some of you are a little bit afraid to move. Katie's in. Landit, Victoria says, at any point in time that this lands for you today, I want you to put Landit in the chat. So Sarah's like, I'm freaking joining the headquarters. I'm going to tell you guys about, we have one more bonus that's available today when you apply, and then it expires tomorrow morning. So if you don't apply and sign up, like actually pay before tomorrow morning, you won't get the bonus. So I'm going to talk about that today. Yay. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to pull up a crazy document here that's going to blow your mind. So I'm going to give this to you all at the end of today's training. And I thought, how can I take this entire training to another level? How can I make, everyone inside of Freedom Queen, like, really be able to walk away from this 7-day challenge, like knowing exactly how to build your own business to whatever number that it is that you're building it to. So I could have put everything on a PowerPoint, but I decided to put it into a Google Doc, and I'm going to give you this Google Doc. And so you're going to have my entire plan. Yay! Maylene says I completed the application form. Congratulations, Maylene. We'll talk in the DMs. I'm going to give you this Google Doc, And here's the thing. We can plan all that we want. You and I, we can get on a Zoom call and you can spend 7 days with me and you can plan and 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 plan. And we can mark it out. We can say, this is what we're going to do this day. We're going to do this launch. But what actually happens when you're implementing that plan? You can say you're going to the gym all you want. You can say, I'm going to get so hot and fit. But what happens when you're really, really hungry and you haven't cooked dinner and you have two choices? You can order pizza or you can go to the grocery store and get something healthy. This is actually where the work is. This is why so much of the work that I do with clients, my private clients, mastermind clients, our headquarters clients, I help you get back on your path. I help you show up for your business. I help you actually take action. So a plan is here in front of you, and I'm going to walk you through this. And it is chef's kiss. It is amazing. It is great. And Freedom Queen's plan. But nobody cares about ideas. Ideas don't actually matter. You want to become someone in the online space who literally just takes over the world. You want to become someone who's like constantly popping off in any capacity that is. You have to be someone then who declares, I am going to do this, and then you do it. If you keep saying, and this is really just real talk right now, real honesty, I'm loving and shoving you right now. If you keep saying, I'm going to make 10K months, I'm going to make 20K months, I'm going to make 50K, 100K months, and then when it comes time to actually put it into action, to seize the day, to move mountains, and you back down and don't actually follow through, those goals don't matter. People will judge you more based on what? People will judge you more based on what? How you move. And people feel it. They know someone who is in integrity because there's no proving. It's, I said I was going to do this, and then you did it. But he says, you loved and shoved me all week. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to show you this plan, and we're going to nerd out on strategy and what I'm doing behind the scenes. And then we're going to have time for Q&A, and we're going to have a party today. But Freedom Queens actually claim the throne by moving. That's when you learn how to lead the way. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so good. So the first part that we really talked about was day one, inner freedom creates wealth, right? We talked about how your daily energy is what is going to create wealth. High energy equals wealth. If internally you're waking up every day like, I don't really know if I want to grow my business today, which by the way, I've seen happen all the way up to people making $100,000 months. I've seen this, doesn't matter. You're not like safe, even if you're just making lots of money. I've seen this happen at different levels. You want to make sure that every single day you're waking up feeling wealth embodied. And how do you do that? Well, you wake up and you take care of yourself. You wake up and have your Queen's Council. You have people in your corners that have your back that are saying, hey, get back on track. You're constantly reminding yourself, this is where I'm going. Even in the moments when you've lost all faith. Even in the moments when the external reality is telling you no one's going to buy. When people aren't moving. When the tech issue happens. When something goes wrong. Can I be really real with you guys? A lot of people really think that there's like some mystical thing that's going to actually create the momentum. It's you continuing to show up. It's you moving even when there's massive doubt. And so if you're not focusing on your daily mindset and energy, you're not going to get to the levels of wealth that you want. And again, I've seen this at different levels in business. I've seen this with people that get all the way up to 100K and then they stop being on fire. And what happens is this leads to doubt. How many of you this week, you're like, I'm so excited. I'm going to do it. And then maybe you started taking action and then you're in the middle of making a post and the doubt comes in. What if they don't buy? You're in the middle of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make that investment. And then you're like, but wait, I have these bills and this thing. And then what if this timing and I have to do this? And then all the excuses start to come up. That's natural when you're doing something that's going to lead you to another side of power in your life. So what I've seen happen before is without working on your inner freedom, a lot of things that happen, you fall off track. People will stop posting. The 1 week they'll be like, post, post, post. And the next week it's like one post. You'll take your foot off the gas. I want you to put it in the chat. What are different ways that you take your foot off the gas? What are some different ways that you take your foot off the gas? Put it in the chat. I would love to call some of these out. Maybe you say you're going to do a launch, but then you don't actually really talk about it that much. What are some different ways? Maybe you plug out a mentorship. You're like, I don't really need it. I'm good. Everyone already knows this, so I don't post. Oh, these are so good. Show up and stop. I post and get excited. Then I get shiny objects. And yeah, you're changing strategies all the time. You're like, maybe that's a strategy. I don't know how. Post and goes, not launching. Or maybe for those of you that are, you're posting daily, you're showing up and you're selling daily. Maybe you're not actually thinking about the messaging. Maybe you're not actually refining the messaging. That's a way of taking your foot off the gas and putting it on the brake. It's like, oh, maybe for those of you that you're already making 20K, 30K months, and it's good and it's amazing. And you're like, I'm just going to slap up this Instagram story. I was just working on this with a client inside of our mastermind of like, what are different ways that we can talk about this? That's you leaning in more. That's you being the freedom queen. And let's say it's not enough to just like slap up an Instagram story and call it a good day. Like refinement, analyzing, thinking about the actual sales strategy. And so I've seen this happen when you're not wealth embodied, when you're not working on your inner wealth that we talked about in inner freedom, you get off track often. And so I want you to ask yourself, what are you going to do when you start having moments of falling off? How are you going to show up when you start getting off your pathway? When maybe you get tired, maybe you lose energy. And so I'm going to walk you through how I do this and how I'm doing this. Maylene says, call Bridget. You're going to be inside of the headquarters. Guys, I have this going on. I love it. Sir Judy's in the headquarters. She'll be in there with you. Like, what do we have, Maylene, going on? So, okay, this is where we get into my plan. You guys ready? Put a yes in the chat. I'm ready. I want to see Bridget James Ling's plan for going to $200,000 in monthly recurring rents. Let's effing go. Melissa's in the headquarters. Linda, Chloe, ready, so ready. Let's freaking go. Okay, I'm really excited to do this show. Janae's here. Hi, Janae. Kate's here. Hell yes, show me. Okay. So here's what I have been doing, and here's what I am planning to integrate even on a deeper level. And by the way, I will be telling the winner of the 3 months inside of the program at the end of today's training. Okay, so the first thing is physical energy. This is a must for me. So physical energy is, I know that high energy equals wealth. When you are energized, like how I can show up today, I'm able to actually support you. So I'm also able to do things like go to the gym, take care of tons of things that we have going on at the house, spend time with my family. The more energy that you have, the easier it's going to be for you to make money in your online business. I've never seen someone who's super healthy and high energy also have a really, really hard time making money. Now, usually, if that does come up, there's something going on with their actual strategy and mindset. But it's so much easier to succeed and keep going up the mountain when you feel alive. So one of the things that I'm doing and that I have been doing throughout the last 3 years, again, I just do the same thing, but do it better, is I prioritize movement every single day with instructors that motivate, inspire me. In your everyday life, are you actually moving your body? And I don't just mean like going and getting your 10,000 walks per day or steps per day. I mean, are you actually working on refining your muscles? Are you actually getting stronger? Now, I'm not a fitness coach anymore. I used to do some fitness work back before I quit my job. But are you actually refining your temple? Why is this so important? I feel like I kind of mix it all together in Freedom Queen: life coaching, business coaching, energetics, embodiment, fitness. This is so important because we have to present ourselves all the time. And there's something about your body being in physical momentum that makes it so much easier to come online and say, hey, buy my thing. Yeah, I've been in the best shape of my life this year and my biz is blowing up. Val, I thought of you as I was saying that. And also have a baby, and also she's the mom. Like, that is next level. So are you taking care of your muscles? And I don't just mean, again, getting your 10,000 steps per day and kind of half-assing your workouts. I mean, actually building something, building a strong temple. The way that you show up online will be so much easier. I move my body throughout the day. So what I'll do in between, like when I'm working with clients during the day, when I'm in and out of the headquarters, I'm in and out of mastermind, I'll put my phone and leave everything in my room, and I'll go for walks in nature if I have time. Or get up and move my body. Like, go get outside. You're not going to grow your business by sitting and staring at Canva all day. And I've seen a lot of you, one of the ways that you take your foot off the gas and you put it on the pedal. Again, I've seen people who built multi-seven-figure companies get to this point where they go, I don't know how to make content. And I guarantee it's because you're probably not living your life. It's probably because you're not actually going outside and being with nature. You're not refining the temple that you are. You're not getting into your creative zone of genius. So get up, go outside. Healthy meals at home. Like these these sound so basic, but this is it. This is what I do behind the scenes. So healthy meals at home, that's something that Robbie and I are always doing. And then consistent sleep schedules. I put this quote here. Robbie and I love screaming this quote here around our house. It's just something that we do. It's like literal pure magic every day in our house. And we say, we say early to bed, early to rise, work like heck, and advertise. I don't know if you know this quote, but it's actually from Arnold. Have you ever seen the Arnold movie? If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend that you watch it. He says work like, he says work like, it doesn't work like heck, but in the Arnold movie, he says this quote, early to bed, early to rise, work like heck, and advertise. And I say that because it's all you have to do to grow your business. Go to bed early, wake up when you want to wake up, work, meaning do your work. Like, this for me is work with you guys. Being here with you is work. Like, and I absolutely love it. And advertise. Like, are you actually promoting yourself? Are you actually putting yourself out there? And actually, I know I'm thinking of many of you right now making 20K, 30K, 40K, even 50K months. All you need to do is advertise more in a bigger and bolder way, and you will be making more money. That's it. Like, literally, you could walk away from this, go start implementing what I just told you to do. And so as a result of this inner freedom, I have a higher ability to lead clients. I hold a lot of different people. I hold a lot of different people at different levels in different spaces and capacities. So I have to take care of myself first. No one, again, we talked about this last week, no one deserves to sign on clients. You become a person, you become a freedom queen who can sign on clients, who can lead people. The only reason today that people making the same amount of money as me or more money than me hire me is because I spent so many years working with people that maybe were unaligned, that challenged me. And so if you're thinking in your head, maybe you have unaligned clients right now, and you want to get to a place where you're working with people who are already more advanced in whatever niche you're in, lead where you are right now. Can you lead the people that you're serving right now at the highest capacity? You want to get to the level of working with higher level clients, work with the people that you have right now and treat them like queens. Treat yourself like a queen. High boundaries, high standards. And so energy also dictates how you lead your clients, how you present yourself. It increases your confidence levels, increases your energy levels. And it's something that we talked about on Monday, is being poised. It's so much easier to win when you are healthy, when you have energy. And this is actually a conversation that needs to be had, because I've seen business owners not take care of their health. And so I want you to think about, if you're already taking care of your health, if you're already working out, if you're in the best shape, I want you to think about, how can you take your creative energies to another level? So for me, what that looks like is, I'm going to go down here, is in my schedule. I purposefully create space in my schedule to give myself time for innovation. So one of the things that I do is I communicate with my team and I say, hey, block off my calendar. Block off my calendar, because I need time for free thinking. So we purposely limit extra things on our calendar, like interviews, summits, and we plug those in as like the cherry on top of the cake, but those aren't the main things. So if you're already taking care of your health, if you're already like you're spot on in your sleep, in your in your eating and all of those things, in your nutrition, can you give yourself more time for innovation, free thinking, for creativity, come up with new ideas? I always think of Tim Ferriss, and he talked about in his 4-Hour Workweek book, which is just such a hilarious book. He talks about how many days the way that he would make money is just by walking around in his backyard. How many of you know that you could give yourself more time for innovation? Maybe you've been in such like a big planning season, and now it's time for free thinking. We talked about that on Monday with being a freedom queen. Also means expanding your mind, giving yourself time for creativity. And that looks different for everyone. It looks different for everyone. So that's something that we've been doing, and I plan on to do even more so as the business continues to scale. Scheduling time for innovation. And I actually put it on our calendar as like nothing can be booked during those times. And even if during that time, all you're doing is going for a walk for however long, allow that to be what you use that time for, to give yourself time to think. This is one of like the most amazing things about being a woman who leads lots of people, is that we are super creative beings. When was the last time you allowed yourself to get into your own intuition? And for those of you that already have your health unlocked, I guarantee your next level of wealth can be more intuition, more creativity, more innovation. This is something I work a lot inside of our headquarters and our mastermind program. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're limiting a lot of extra things on my schedule, and I'm saying no to a lot of things. A lot of things I have learned over the last couple of years. A lot of the things, let me say this, the only things that we're saying yes to are a win-win-win for everybody. There have been many times over the last couple of years of scaling my business that I've said yes to people, but it wasn't a win for me, it was a win for them. And so as we scale the business to 200K, I'm looking at, is this actually a win for me? Or am I doing you a favor, which is fine. Sometimes that's okay. But can it be a win for me, a win for you, and a win for our audiences? And so I want you to think about, as you're scaling to wherever that looks like in your own business, who are you saying yes to? Are you saying yes to everyone and anything? And please believe me, there was a time in my business where I needed to do that. There was a time in my business where I was like, yes, 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 yes. And then no. And some of you need to be making more strategic moves on the relationships that you're having. So one of the things that I do often, daily, is surround myself with people who encourage me to do more. They're not people who tell me like, oh, we miss you, slow down, like it's okay, you don't need to do that. No, I'm surrounding myself with people that say, take care of yourself, I love you, and you've got this. I love to surround myself with people that are making more than me, people that are growing, people that don't have excuses, people that are positive, people that have amazing family lives, people that are mothers, because people that are married. I love to surround myself with people that are going where I want to go, that have what I want, that have the lifestyle, whatever it is, different facets. And not every person that I work with or that I have a relationship with has that lifestyle that I desire. Actually, no mentor that I have has the same lifestyle as me, but they have different facets. And I'm looking at them to go, well, what are you doing? How can I learn from that? And I put this here. If the people in your life aren't growing or adding more value in your life, reflect. And so over the last few years, there have been so many people that I've had to let go of or set boundaries with, or say, hey, you're not growing anymore. This relationship needs to change. And this looks different for everyone. And some of those relationships stay and you guys continue to grow together, and some of them don't. And that's okay. On the other side of this is some relationships do stay in your life and have stayed in my life. But I put this here, does everyone in your life need to know about your business boundaries? Do you have a safe space? Do you have the Queen's Council where you can go in and stay plugged in about your business? This is why we create our membership and our headquarters and our mastermind and our conference, so that you have a place to plug into and go, hey, I'm here. And so very transparently with you guys, I don't share a lot of information about my business with my family, even with my partner, the man that I love so much, who also is a business owner, who has seen me rise, but not everything needs to be disclosed. Rather, I strategically set myself up, and I'm going to walk you through investments that I've made to help me get to $200,000 in monthly recurring revenue that I know I can plug into, because they will understand the mindset, the energetics, the things that I'm going through. How much of your day is maybe filled with someone else's problems versus being filled with ideas and creativity and innovation? And I know that when I'm plugging in with my Queen's Council, things that I invest in, people that I invest in, programs that I'm in, somebody's, there we go. Elizabeth unmuted. Hi, Elizabeth. I know that those conversations are going to light me up, are going to fuel me. If I put a conversation and it leaves me like, I'm out. I'm setting a boundary. Obviously, discernment, that's not always the case, but boundaries are set because it's so important for you to protect your energy, which is the most important part. Okay. Another piece with inner freedom is mentorship. I do not expect myself to do this on my own, nor do I want to do this on my own. One of the biggest things that shifted for me, I would say, was from 2021 to 2022. I went from $100,000 year to then the next year we did $680,000 in sales and about $450 in cash. And one of the biggest differences that happened in between those years and then going into last year, which is $1.1 million cash year, was I stopped investing from a place of, I need you to help me, and started investing from a place of, I simply desire to do this for myself. I owe it to myself to be here. I owe it to myself to have a seat at that table. And so I stopped playing into the narrative, which many of you have. How many of you have ever had the narrative of like, because I've been there. Actually, can I share a quick story about this? Because this will give you more insight. Put a yes in the chat if I can share a quick story about this. This is very enlightening. There was a time in my business where, how many of you have ever been there? And I said to myself, I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to do it on my own. I don't want to do it with anybody. I don't need anybody. I'm going to do this on my own, just me, by myself. You ever been there? I have. I'll very vulnerably share that with you guys. I've been there. I don't need you. And I really, really, really looked at that and went, why is this a negative thing? First of all, why is this a desire to do it on your own, to desire to do it as an island, to desire to like absolutely isolate yourself? First of all, let's unpack that. Why is it seen as a negative? And I walked myself through this process. And I said, as a Freedom Queen, I don't have to do this alone. And it is actually smarter for me to go and get people who have gone up the mountain that I want to go up, maybe a different mountain, and extract the wisdom, learn from their mistakes, so that I can continue to grow faster and in a deeper way. I really and truly believe that women are meant to do this together. I was talking with someone, a gentleman, about our conference that we're hosting. And the gentleman said, oh, like I host events and they're really hard to sell. And I said, really? Because we opened up our Freedom Queen Live conference happening in September and 60 people joined pretty much right away. And we're actually about to do a big launch for it coming up. He's like, what? How? Like, how did you do that? This is insane. I'm like, man, like that's who we are. Like women are meant to do this together. We're a family. We're a community. Somebody yesterday invited her friend to join the headquarters. We do this together. And so I'm not shocked when I see women saying, I want to be in the room. Women, like, this is why women are so good at coaching. And my boyfriend and I always talk about this. He's like, I have no idea how you do what you do. Because for me, when I'm on these calls, when you're on a call with your client, aren't you lit up? Aren't you like, yes, I'm so excited? And I was talking with this woman who works in like this big mastermind. I'm not going to name names, but she's one of my like mindset coaches. And we were talking about the conference. And she's like, yeah, I mean, it's no wonder that all of these people are just easily buying your program or buying the conference when most people struggle selling things like that in the time span that you're selling it in, because you're bringing together a group of freedom queens. You're bringing together a community, a family, a group of women. What do women do? We love socializing. Like women love being like, this is how we learn. Even if you're someone who's like more kind of lean back, kind of doesn't actually say a lot in spaces, even if you're someone like me who's more of like the poised queen, like just observing, we're still social beings and we learn by being around one another. So I don't expect myself to have to do this alone. I actually leverage the parts of me that know thrive by being in relationship with other women. I know the parts of my personality that I can leverage in relationships with my mentors that will make me make more money, be happier, be able to lead more, have more energy. And so I'm in 2 group masterminds. I'm in a 6-month program. I'm in a year-long program and a private mentorship. And what does this help me do as a result of this? I'm always on my path. I'm faster and deeper growth. I already talked about this. I gather wisdom and mistakes from other achievements. I am supported. It's like there's nothing better than going out and setting your soul on fire and going after whatever your goals are and knowing that you have a support system there to lift you up, especially if in your personal life that's not always the case. Okay, so this is how I've set myself up this year up here. This is how I've set myself up for my inner freedom that we talked about on Monday. There's nothing else outside of this. This is how I've set myself up, and this is what I have been doing in years past. Very careful about who I'm around. My schedule is focused on me. I've done Voxer and text coaching with clients 4 days a week for 2 years now, Monday to Thursday. And we're going to talk about my scalable product suite too and how that's given me more time. I limit the amount of time. I'm taking care of my body and my health. Period. End of story. I've got the counsel there ready to go. The next part is around how I'm moving mountains. So I don't want to just give it all away. Here we go. So I put this here, Freedom Queen Moving Mountains. This is so exciting for me to share with you guys. We're going to scale the business to over $200,000 monthly recurring revenue this year. Number 1, I put this quote here. I make moves that most people will never do, and that's exactly why I'm here today. That's it. You are where, okay, I'm going to say something that is just going to unlock another level for you. You are where you are today because of the moves that you've made previously. That's it. You are where you are today, the amount of money you're making, the way you feel in your body, your happiness levels, your relationships, because of all the moves that you've made previously. The marketplace is very fair. The universe will reward you for the actions that you take. And so I can look at people's businesses and go, well, let's look at where you are on the mountain. You want to move a mountain. Let's look at where you are on the mountain. And what happens is a lot of people think that they're already at the top of the mountain. This is what I do when I do my onboarding calls in the headquarters. You guys see how I'm talking about the headquarters and I'm seeding the headquarters so much? Like, I want you to just nerd out with me and watch for strategy here. So on the onboarding calls, yes, I'm openly talking about it. On the onboarding calls for the headquarters, at the top, some people I get on calls with and they think they're at the top of the mountain. But the actions that you take at the top of the mountain are vastly different than the actions that you take if you're at the middle or the bottom of the mountain. And one of the reasons why a lot of people actually, they think they're taking action, they think that they're making these really big moves, it's because they actually are underestimating or they're overestimating what's required of them. They're not actually really clear on where they're at on the mountain. And so when you're going towards whatever that goal is, I want you to have a lot of self-awareness to go, but what are the moves that you need to do? This is where you need to create your actual, like, I call it like the prescribed plan. Are you prescribing yourself correctly? So for example, when I first started my business, I knew that social media was a skill set that I needed to work on a lot. I knew that it was. That's a skill set that I need to work on. So I made it my duty, because we are the queen of our lives. That's what we are. I made it my responsibility. We are the CEO to learn how to make social media content. My responsibility, my duty to learn how to get really good at content. I want you to put it in the chat right now. What's one skill set that you know you need to strengthen right now? What is it? Is it leading client conversations? Is it not social media content? Is it doing webinars? Is it selling? Is it doing challenges? Is it posting on your Instagram story? I want you to put it in the chat. You should know it right away, because this is the thing that you should be strengthening. This is the thing that I would be focusing on right now. Content, value, selling on stories, presenting yourself, posting on Instagram thread, copy, packaging, messaging, consistency of content creation. This is the thing that you want to focus on. And this is what we're focusing on in the headquarters: messaging, community, content, and sales. Strategic content, clear communication, taking action, just showing up and moving. Which in the membership in March, we're going to be talking about the Freedom Queen Formula, actually doing a whole challenge just around making moves, which is going to be really cool. So what happens is a lot of people say they want the top of the mountain, but they're not taking the right action. And the only way to get to the top of the mountain is by taking the right action. And so when I say I make moves that most people will never do, what I mean by that is most people will come up with a plan, but then they won't follow through on it. Or they'll get to a certain level in business and stop taking that action and continuing to follow through on it and continuing to take bigger or make bigger moves. And they'll start to play it safe and dial back. They'll start to make money and go like, okay, let me keep this safe. Let me keep this. I've seen this happen before. You would think that people making more money would have more freedom of wealth, but actually what I've seen happen is the bigger people get, sometimes the smaller they get inside in the moves that they make. So here are some of the big moves that we're making. Number one, Freedom Queen Live Conference. This is a multi-six-figure investment. The Freedom Queen Live Conference will be over $200,000 invested. Actually, it will be $300,000 invested into a massive, massive, massive event. Like $300,000 invested. That is a move that most people are unwilling to make. But I have a vision. So for example, going up the mountain, up to $100,000 months or up to our first $1 million year, I made moves that made sense for me then. And now where I'm at now, and with the vision that I have, this is the move. This is the move that I desire to make. Not somebody else's desire. I don't have any mentors that are doing this. I've never, no one is doing this exact thing that I'm doing. This is what we talked about on Monday of last week, day one of free thinking. And I asked you to reflect on what are the moves that you want to make that are in the desires of your heart that you actually want to make, but you've never seen anyone do it before, but you're scared. Oh, you can't do that yet, or you're not ready. You will never be ready for that thing. You will learn how to become that person by taking that action. And so for me, this is the move that most people will never make, but this is why in September, how many of you have your tickets for Freedom Queen Live? I know many of you do. In September, that's going to be a big, big, big event for us. It's brand new. It's out of this world. It's going to be like the Met Gala. It's going to be insane. It's also a multi-day event. It was originally going to be a one-day event. We're making it a multi-day event that weekend. No, Petra's flying from around the world. Sarah's coming. And I hired a world-class team to do this event for me. Victoria will be there. If you guys don't have your tickets yet, I'll drop the ticket link so you can have it at the end of this call today. I see Pearl's coming on. Pearl's coming on. She'll be at the conference. I'm getting mine today. Yay. So I could have half-assed it. I could have said, like, we're gonna like mom and pop this event and we're gonna do this and we're gonna like throw it together. But I said, no, this is Freedom Queen. What are the standards? We talked about this mission and vision that you have for your business. And then are you making moves that align with that? So I said for our Freedom Queen Live conference, I'm gonna hire a world-class team. The team that we hired does Gary Vee's events. The team that we hired, I meet with them bi-weekly. It's insane. So I could have said, yeah, let's just make this small. Let's do this. No, that's not a mountain. Remember we talked about this? Are you trying to set sail on ponds when really you're meant to be in the ocean? And by the way, I've done this at different levels in my business. So now it's a conference, but year one, it wasn't a conference. It was like, I want to host my first retreat. Or I remember year one for me, how many of you are working with so many one-to-one clients and you're like, I need to pivot and make a one-to-many program? That was my ocean for me in year one. I was like, whoa, we are booked out in one-to-one. We have to scale this to one-to-many. That was my ocean. But for me right now, it's let's host a world-class conference. And so as a result of this move that you're going to see me make this year, Freedom Queen is growing at rapid rates. We've taken the business out of an industry and created a league of our own. One of my clients said to me, she's like, I just signed up for the conference because I've never seen anyone do this. Like, this is insane. This is so next level. And she joined our mastermind because she's like, I'm hiring you because you're a crazy big dreamer like me. I want to be a part of this. So that's one of the moves. The next mountain that I'm moving is I'm doing a lot of in-person masterminds. For me, I know that in-person events changes the game. I always talk about the first time I went to a conference in 2021. I didn't have money to be there. I hadn't even made my first 6 figures in my business. And I was totally out of my comfort zone watching Tony Robbins speak on stage. And Russell was talking about how you can win the Two Comma Club award. And then you can walk across the stage. And all I remember doing sitting in that conference, in that chair, looking at the stage going, I'm going to walk that stage. How many of you are coming to our conference this year and you're going to get the 100K? I'm putting them in the chat. We have the 100K award, 500K award, and the $1 million plus award. How many of you, for those of you that are coming to the conference this year, like you've got your eyes on the prize? That for me changed my life. Being able to work towards something that I knew that I was going to do at a future time set the tone for me of how I was going to show up in my business. And so I strategically placed these opportunities of out of my comfort zone of showing up so that I can grow. So I force myself to be in rooms that make me up level. So next week, actually this Friday, I fly to New York City and then we're going to Dubai for a week. And that's out of my comfort zone. And actually, I'm going to be walking the headquarters clients and mastermind clients through that experience of what I'm doing there. But that's out of my comfort zone. And I'm actually might be meeting with someone who's going to support with the conference. I can't disclose any names because they're really big names, but I'm doing things that are out of my comfort zone. And for that's for me. What is it for you? Don't look at me and go, what? Should I fly to Dubai? No. You completely missed the entire point if you're comparing yourself. What for you is the mountain that you need to move? I shared with you my first year in business. I said, you know what? I need to stop doing one-to-one and I need to go to one-to-many. That was the mountain I needed to move. What's your mountain right now? And so for me, going to Dubai next week, that's out of my comfort zone. In April, I'm going back to Idaho, where I don't know if you guys remembered this. How many of you remembered last November I went to Idaho and I had to speak and present on Instagram traffic? And I got in the room and like a Freedom Queen does, she's prepared, she plans, but unexpected things happen. And I remember being in the room thinking, oh, it would be amazing if Russell Brunson walked into the room while I was actually leading this and came in and watched me spoke. And Russell walked in right before my presentation and I got full on coaching with him on how to grow the business, Freedom Queen, in the conference. So I put myself in rooms that forced me to up level. Right after that event, we had our highest cash month ever. It's no surprise to me that I was in a space. And did you know that when I walked into that hotel in November, I said to Robbie, I am out of my comfort zone. I am out of my comfort zone. Just like I was out of my comfort zone 2 years prior when I was that cute Freedom Queen sitting in the audience going, one day I'll be on that stage. 2 years later, I'm in his mastermind, already walked the stage, presenting to him on how to grow his Instagram. Keep making moves that scare you. Keep showing up for your business. Keep finding new ways. Keep innovating. This is your life. And I want you to one day look back on your life and be like, wow, I created this incredible book. I created this incredible story. So we're going to that in April, Mexico in June for another event. And actually we have a lot of friends that are going to be at that event. So that's very, very cool. We've made a lot of friends with successful business owners. So that's been really amazing. Thailand this summer, I'm going back to Thailand, which will be amazing. And then in March, I have a client coming to Costa Rica for a VIP weekend. So in a couple of weeks. In September, we have our conference. In October, Val and I are going to be in France doing a VIP weekend. I'll probably drop something at the end of this year as an extra thing as well. So I get out of my comfort zone on purpose. Are you out of your comfort zone or are you playing it safe? I put here, take the lead. Okay. On our day 5, we talked about attracting and leading the community. So I'm going to show you my product suite to 200K months. So number 1, we're focusing on selling our scalable offers. We have our Freedom Queen Live, which is the multi-day conference happening September 28th. That is something that hundreds of people will be at. And that's something that's going to grow the business visibly. We can make $1 million in a day at that event. We can grow it obviously financially. It will definitely grow it from a social media standpoint, but it'll also grow it from a soul standpoint. Imagine all of us here, so all 55 of us, plus the other hundreds of people that are going to be at that event. Imagine we're all in person together. I just want you to picture this for a moment. We're all in person in the room. We're decking out the room with lights and music, and we have a DJ, and people are going to be dancing and speakers on stage, and you're vibing and you're in your Freedom Queen outfit. I have mine on today. And we're all in that room just can you visualize the tears coming out of your eyes? I can. I do it all the time. Robbie and I, we practice all the time our walkout songs, and I pretend like I'm with you inside of the room together. That is going to raise the soul of the business. That's going to raise the soul of Freedom Queen. What's going to raise the soul of your business? What's going to raise the soul of your life? I've never seen somebody do what we're creating, but I know in my heart that it's perfect for us. What is something that you want to do for your community? For me, I knew, let's do a $300,000 event, bring everyone from around the world. We have people flying from New Zealand to come to this event. Okay, so that's a big piece for us scaling to $200,000 monthly recurring revenue. By the event in September, we'll be beyond that, but this is just to give you context, okay? Make Money membership. This is our core membership. How many of you are inside of the membership, by the way? How many? Just put a yes in the chat if you are. I know some of you are, some of you aren't. Membership is a home space inside of our community, and this is the appetizer that I shared with you in our Empire Grounds. It's the taste of what it's like to work with us. And this is what I use. Everything in there is what I use actually to grow my own business and what I am going to grow it. Use it to grow it to $200,000 in monthly recurring revenue. And so in the month of March, we're actually going to be doing a big challenge inside of our membership where I'm talking about the Freedom Queen formula. And I'm actually changing it from 4 steps to 5 steps. I'm really excited to release that new formula to you guys. But this space is very scalable. It's also amazing for ascension. So many people, what happens is they join our membership and they love it. And they're like, I want to be in the headquarters. I want to join. Many people, I know some of you messaged me yesterday and you're like, I joined the membership, but I'm definitely a headquarters client. Can I join the headquarters? So that's our appetizer. It's very, Katie, we were talking yesterday. It's very one to many. It can serve as many people as we want. And I'm going to show you also how we're going to be scaling that as well. Headquarters is our other scalable offer. This is one of our home spaces inside of Freedom Queen. This teaches you movement messaging, community, and creating wealth using content and different sales channels. And so inside of the headquarters, this program is a one-to-many program. It's not limited. It won't limit my time. It won't limit it won't limit my growth, meaning I can bring in as many people into this program as the soul desire. Someone asked me, how many people are inside the program? I said, the limit does not exist. But what's really important for me, and I'm going to talk about this soon, is that the right people are inside of these programs. And that's why this week we decided to do an application. We wanted to be even more of an exclusive space, because what we could have done is said, hey, everybody, click the link. When I started selling it on Friday, we could have said, click the link, buy now, it's $888 a month, or $4,500, pay in full. I could have said that. But we want to make sure that this space is specifically tailored for someone that is committed to being all in, is positive, is going to treat other women inside of the space like their family, is going to lift them up, is going to create more fire inside of the space, is excited about refining her messaging, about being with her people and creating community, and actually about showing up every day and selling. So we decided this was a big move for us. This is also moving mountains. We didn't need to put an application, because the headquarters has been around for a year. Wow. It's been around for a year and a half. We never had an application for it. And that was great. And that program has scaled and scaled and scaled, built our business now to multiple millions. However, now I want it to be even more next level. And so a move for us was adding an application. And then we have our mastermind, 6-month mastermind for the woman scaling to her first $1 million year and 100K months. Mastermind is also by application only. And most of the time I recommend that you go through our headquarters first before you actually come over to the mastermind, or you're inside of our membership for a while. And then we have some of our micro programs. So micro programs are not our actual, and again, I'm going to send out this document to you guys. Our micro programs are not recurring income programs. Our micro programs are programs that people come in and they get a bite of something. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I love this so much. And then they usually upsell to something like our headquarters. So for example, in January, we sold a micro program called your $1 Million Year. Some of you were inside of that. And you got the opportunity, I believe Julia, who was here, you got the opportunity to then upgrade to the headquarters. And so micro programs, we use these as front end offers that provide a lot of value, that showcase our mission, our vision of where we're going, and our skill set. And then people upsell from those micro programs to something like our headquarters. So in March, we're going to be running our March membership program, which is how to actually scale your own memberships. And so this program, we're going to actually announce it today and tomorrow. It's $297, a 2-week group coaching program. And inside of that program, I'll be teaching you how to scale your own low ticket membership and mid ticket membership, and then upsell those people that want to come into the headquarters. So primarily what we're doing, and I'll go through this in a minute when I talk about selling, is we're focusing on bringing people into our scalable offers. Why? This creates more sense of community. And one of the reasons why, I don't know if you guys saw it, that we're speaking at the Circle Summit on Tuesday, which is crazy, with Brendan Burchard and Amy Porterfield. We got asked to do that is because community is how your members thrive. I purposely designed programs to be structured in this way because I know that when women come together, you actually get more results. Those days of like just private coaching is the only way to get results are absolutely gone. If you look at the data, when you examine different community spaces, majority of the people that get results and that utilize a space utilize the community more than anything else. If you compare the data between how often they use the community versus how often they log into like Kajabi or ClickFunnels or one of your portals, your customers will utilize your community more. And so it is very strategic from an educational standpoint and a developmental standpoint, a success standpoint, for you to purposely integrate community and group work into your product suite. Landed. I love these landed. As soon as you get a landed, drop it in the chat. And so the results of this structure of how we're doing Freedom Queen moving forward is that these offers fit the needs of all different types of people. So we have our membership, they're like, I just want to taste Freedom Queen. And some people live there for a while. We have our headquarters where people are like, no, I want specific support with messaging, with community, with product suite, with how I'm actually going to sell this and create wealth. And then we have our mastermind for people that are taking it to a next level. We can serve. Remember when I talked about like a queen just doesn't serve one group of her people, she serves everyone inside of her empire and kingdom. Can you serve multiple different types of people without it always relying on you? A queen doesn't, she's not expected to be inside of all those spaces at all times. A Freedom Queen creates systems so that people can come into her world without it taking over her world. Okay, put a yes in the chat for picking what I'm putting down if you're like, okay, I need to watch this again and go back to this document. Okay, the next thing that we talked about inside of Freedom Queen, and I'm just gonna like shake it out in my body for a second. The next thing that we talked about is high value. So what does high value look like? Like I'm always looking at how can we improve everything from our content creation to our videographers. So something that I'm doing next week when I'm in Dubai is I'm hiring a videographer and a photographer to not just like have pretty photos and be amazing on social media, but also to actually feel energized and to feel excited. And by the way, this doesn't mean that you need to go and hire a videographer or photographer. For many times in my business, I just use my cell phone and I set it up on a tripod in my office or outside or wherever the location is that I'm at. So how can you increase the overall look of your content, the feel of your content? And then I put this here, but I'm spending, going to $200,000 in MRR and beyond, I'm spending less time on being a how-to coach and more time on leadership style content. Because I really believe that people are moving away and are done with the how to do XYZ, and people are more interested in who do I need to become? Ooh, speak to my heart. Ooh, speak to my soul. Ooh, what do you have going on over here? Ooh, I needed someone to, only you can say it in that way. And I've seen people doing, you know, the people that really, really scale their movements and internally feel free, they're not boxing themselves into just being a how-to coach. And I know many of you on this call are done with being the how-to and more of the embodied. And I've seen it in different business owners, especially when you really begin scaling and growing. The how-to is amazing and the frameworks are amazing. But at a certain point in time in business, when you're really growing and scaling, a framework's not going to get you there. The how-to isn't going to get you there. It's who do I be? How do I lead myself during this challenge? Telling stories. Yeah, Jana says the how-to can feel flat. It's like, where's the human? Hello, are we speaking to human beings that have real feelings and emotions and dreams and visions? Or are we making posts that are how to do this? So I will still have that as a main piece in our product suite, but more of it's going to be more leadership style content, the depth, the magic. And this right here, my plan with this is going to expand what Freedom Queen is going to expand the soul of it all, which is also going to change, and we'll talk about this in a second, the type of person that I'm attracting. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this is because I want to attract leaders, people like you and I, who from the beginning know that this is so much bigger than like, what do I post on social media? This is who do I become? What you're building is so much bigger than just a coaching business, a course business. You're building a movement that helps people, that makes impact. And like Jana said in the chat, a how-to can feel flat, but someone I can tell that's really committed to the journey, they're not going to continue to seek and like some sort of framework to solve the problem and be the solution and quick fix and band-aid approach. It's like, ooh, who can I become? Samantha is in our headquarters. Hi, Samantha. Preach. Something you taught me is that there are no rules. Instead of always feeling like I have to do things this way, I have to put out ads, I have to do cold calls, there are no rules. I'm so grateful for that. Yes. And by the way, I'm sure you've seen this in your clients. These are the people that get the best results in programs. These are my clients that have had $100,000 months, $50,000 months. These are the clients that blow up. Agreed. Okay, communicating offers. Simple scales, complex sales, you guys. So many times, and this is one of the things we're going to be doing in the headquarters and in the membership in March, is really just refining the basics that build the business. And so I see a lot of time, again, people making no matter how, like small or big amounts of money, they lose track of where they're going. And they try and look for like this crazy, crazy thing. But actually, it's very simple to communicate your offers. And so one of the things that we're doing is we're running repeatable systems. So we're going to be running a massive challenge and event, just like the one we did today, one per quarter. So each quarter, we're going to have a challenge or a masterclass or big event that we run that is all tailored around what it means to be a Freedom Queen. I'm going to be teaching different facets of it. And at the end of those, I'm going to invite you to the headquarters, to our conference, to our mastermind, our main recurring programs. In between these challenges and big events that we're doing this year, I'm going to be selling our micro offers. So for example, after this challenge, I'm going to be going into selling our March memberships program. And then after that, I'll go back into selling our headquarters again. And in the between time, people will be enrolling for it. This is how January was over $110,000 in cash, and I didn't do a launch. Many people joined the headquarters in January behind the scenes. So enrollment still continues to happen. We're just going to amp this up a little bit more, and we're going to be doing repeatable events. And then we're marketing towards clients that are here for the long term and not a quick fix. One of the biggest reasons that we put an application in the headquarters is we want to make sure people coming into this space, like I celebrated some people in the chat, like Annie had a $30,000 month, Irene $20,000 month, Danny $10,000 cash month. That's because they're there for the long term and they're so committed. They're working on their messaging that we refined. They're working on creating a trailblazing community and movement. I'm thinking of Annie. And they're also selling and showing up and open to feedback. And so I know that those people, that when they submit their application, that they come through, I'm like, yes, you are the right fit because you're going to do it. Or like Samantha got off our onboarding call and signed on. I think it was a 4-figure client, like something, it was a high ticket client. Okay. And then leading the community. So I'm always working on refining the specific person that Freedom Queen is for. And so doing an event like this, you know what's so funny is this event, I told you guys this, we more than doubled our signups for this event. And it wasn't an event that I said, like, come learn how to make 10K months. I said, use the Freedom Queen archetype to make millions. And so I strategically ran an event like this because, again, I want people to be, first of all, they're already successful, but I want them to be even more successful. And I know that success in business does not just come from a quick fix strategy. It comes from being someone. And so this week, so many of you have messaged me saying, like, I'm a Freedom Queen. I asked Annie, she said I had a $30,000 month, just messaged me in the headquarters. And I said to her, who are you? And she's like, I'm a Freedom Queen. And I was laughing because I was like, okay, this has landed. And this was a risk for me. Running this challenge this way was a risk for me. How many of you have said, like, oh, well, I don't want to teach in that way because I'm afraid people won't get it. Or you think, oh, well, you've sold other programs before, like how to do this, how to get this, and that's worked for you in the past. I've never done a challenge like this before. Never done a 7-day challenge. I've never done a challenge that teaches an archetype. And this is one of our most successful challenges. So leading your community is also about pioneering and showing up and doing things that actually scare you. And so I strategically led with Freedom Queen archetype because, again, I want to, in my community, make sure that the people inside of this, they're serious about growing their businesses. They're positive. She's kind. She wants to have fun. She's always looking for solutions. Yes, I'm feeling like I'm shedding an old version of me as we speak. Yes, that was the whole point of this challenge itself, to help you go from the old you to being a Freedom Queen. And then transformation. That's our biggest focus inside of our headquarters program is highlighting more members. We have insane results inside of the headquarters right now. I asked the women, hey, can you share some of your wins with me? And people are like 10K, 20K, 30K a month. Or some of them inside of the headquarters are just starting their business and they're like, I'm showing up. I feel alive. I know some people that are in the headquarters that hadn't made any money. And they're like, I just need to be inside of a space where people are holding me accountable, where I feel like I'm not alone, where I'm in a community where I feel seen. And now they're finally showing up for their business, which some of you are on this call, which I know who you are. So we're doing a lot more celebrating of the different members inside. And so I broke out some of the numbers here so you can see them. And again, I'm going to give you guys this Google Doc. You guys are going to have access to it. So here are like the actual, when people say like the math is mathing, here's all the math, but also this doesn't include any other of the other programs that we have. So, you know, I'm putting that disclaimer here. So our mastermind, these are different programs that we have. So we have our headquarters program. This is over a course of time at $888 a month. We have our membership at 500 people. We have our 6-month mastermind. This is our $1 Million Movements Mastermind. And I like to limit that to 15 people maximum. Right now, we have 11 people inside of it. And we're not doing another enrollment period for it yet, but that's the max capacity that I'm going to have inside of that space. And these are per month. So just with these numbers, this is the total in monthly recurring revenue. And so I think some people are confused on monthly recurring revenue, because I saw some people saying like, I have this amount of money in monthly recurring revenue, but that's not it. Monthly recurring revenue is the amount of money that you know you're going to have every single month in cash. So with these numbers here, this is so helpful for me to see. This is the number of every single month for 6 months. This is what we'll make. So right now we have about $82,000 in monthly recurring revenue. Let's round down. Let's say $80,000 in monthly recurring revenue. So these are the numbers that we need to create in order to go to 200,000. Now I put this disclaimer here. This doesn't include passive programs, bundles, micro offers, one-off private coaching, our VIP weekends, our retreats, our conferences. This doesn't include any of the micro offers like March memberships or the $1 Million Year and all those other programs that we sell. But just with these numbers will get us to 200,000, which is really exciting. And so I'm going to send you guys this Google document, but this is it. And here's why I said at the beginning of this call today, this plan is great. This plan will take us beyond 200,000 MRR. What happens when you're actually in the field? What actually happens when you're doing the do? What actually happens when you're showing up for your business? Things are happening and you're like, this is hard. And the doubt comes in. Or you get to a point in your business like I did where I was like, I need to shift my messaging. My messaging needs to shift to be all about movements. Or you get criticism online, or something's happening in your personal life. Or you're like, hey, I've forgotten how to sell. Because by the way, I've seen people, multi-6-figure business owners say, wait, how do I sell again? Can you walk me through this? A plan is amazing, but without actual implementation and continue to go up the mountain doesn't matter. And so what you're going to be able to do inside of the different programs, inside of our headquarters, of your headquarters client, you're going to be able to see me actually go and implement this entire strategy here in my own business. Like, I will pull back the curtain and show you, hey, this is what Bridget James Ling is doing. Here's what she's navigating. Here's what she's going through, which in my opinion is invaluable. There's not a price tag that you can put on that. Kate says, yes, that's me. I'm in headquarters and I'm being held to a higher standard and the momentum is building. I'm becoming the freedom queen I always knew I was inside. I'm exploding. Kate, you've made a huge shift in your messaging recently, and it has shown in your content. I was looking at your content yesterday in your Instagram story. Linda says, mind blown. So what I want to do is I want to open up the floor for some Q&A. I would love to be able to serve some of you on this call today. And I'm going to drop a couple links in the chat because a couple of you asked for the headquarters application. You asked for the conference ticket. So I'm going to drop those. And then we'll be sending out this Google Doc as well to all of you. But before we do that, we do have a winner that gets 3 months free inside of the headquarters. And I'm very excited to announce this person. I hope that she's still live with us. This person won because she really went out of her way to create an Instagram experience, I would say, that was intentional, that was unique to her. And she also experienced challenges as she was creating it, but nevertheless, still went on with it. When I saw this submission, this is what it looked like. She's outside in a forest in some trees, walking towards the screen or the camera. She took a massive gold frame, took it outside, put it in a tree, and then put her crown on. And as she was filming it, like all of these crazy things were happening. Like the frame was like bumping into the tree, and she's like, oh my gosh, this isn't working as I wanted it to work. But she still made it actually happen. And so that was Katharina. I'm not sure if she's still on. Let me see if she's here. I will post, yeah, she's on with us today. Katharina, you won. I will post it to my Instagram stories. Thank you for your innovation, for your intention behind how you created this video. You clearly put thought into it, and you will always be rewarded. The person who was creative, that is poised, that is ready to go, that is innovative, she's putting herself out there, even if it's uncomfortable and weird, because I get that. Clearly, I think you might have had someone else filming it with you. That level of intentionality doesn't go unnoticed. So you're going to be inside the headquarters for 3 months free. Congratulations. My heart is beating so much now. Just send a message to Team Freedom Queen on Instagram or Facebook, and they will grant you access for 3 months, Katharina. And we're going to go on a journey. You're going to have an onboarding call with me where we're going to map out your movement messaging, your product suite, and what you're going to be doing over the next 3 to 6 months. And then you're going to be granted access into the headquarters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Q&A. And so these questions that you put in the chat, they can either be about the headquarters program and what that looks like. They can be about what we talked about this week, how to actually use the Freedom Queen archetype, any concepts you want me to go deeper on. But it can also be about the plan of how I'm taking Freedom Queen to $200,000 in monthly recurring revenue. So go ahead. What I want you to do is start dropping your questions into the chat. And while we do that, I'm going to drop a couple of things. I'm going to drop the headquarters application. If you haven't applied for the headquarters yet, make sure that you go and apply for the headquarters today. And after you apply, so you go to the headquarters application. I'll drop it here. It will take you, you'll fill out all the details, and you can just start filling it out while we're on the call. DM me saying I applied. Tomorrow, the bonus for the, I'm taking you behind the scenes of the Dubai mini mind and what that's going to be like, that expires. And so what I'm going to do is pull current headquarters clients that have already signed up, plus anyone that joins today, into a Telegram chat where I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes of what it's like to go on that crazy Dubai experience, flying business class, traveling around, and doing my thing there. So let me go ahead, and headquarters application is in the chat, so make sure that you fill that out. Please be very in depth when you're filling this out. Again, I want to make sure that you're the right fit for it. And then I'm also going to put a link to the conference tickets. How many of you want to come to our conference? We're going to be doing a big launch of the ticket of the conference actually coming up. So if you want to get access to the pre-sale price before we raise it up, that's that second link there that says retreat. So I'm going to come into the chat and answer some of the cues here that we have coming up. Okay, wow, I'm blown away. Katharina, I can't wait to see you on your onboarding call. Okay, Amira. Hi, Amira. Amira, tell me where you're from in the chat. I would love to know. Amira says, what is the #1 thing to focus on for someone working full-time, just starting my coaching business? Okay, your #1 thing to focus on is your messaging, your community, and your daily content and sales. This is why I have this inside of the headquarters. But that's what you want to focus on. Who are you serving? What makes you stand out? So for me, I spoke about this on day 5, which was about vision and mission. I spoke about, I help you build $1 million movements and wake up the world. What is your thing? What is your actual movement messaging? That's going to define how successful your business is. So #1, we need to know, what is your messaging? #2, do you have a community? So how are you serving people? How are you building relationships with people? We can't just go online and expect people to buy from us. Nobody deserves to make money. We have to show to our audience, hey, I'm someone that you can work with, and I will help you. I will be there for you. And so, Amira, I would refine your movement messaging. I would build a community. And by the way, in our membership this month, I was teaching on trailblazing communities. So how are you building your community? Is it in a group? Is it in a broadcast channel? Is it via lives? Like, how are you actually getting to know the person behind the screen? And then 3, giving people the appetizer or the taste of what it's like to work with you. I call this like the coffee date. It's like, ooh, I like this. Oh, I like the membership. And for many of you joined the headquarters yesterday, and this is the first thing that you ever came into Freedom Queen. It was like our first date. And you're like, Bridge, we had coffee together, but now I'm ready to go out to dinner with you. I want to go for the 3, 5 course, 10, 12 course meal with you. And so, Amira, I would focus on, again, what is your movement messaging? 2, how are you building relationships with people inside of your community? And then 3, offering people to take the appetizer and then the next step with you. And that's it. That is it. Literally, that is all you need to do in order to grow the business. Okay. You're so welcome, Amira. Toronto, Canada. Ooh, amazing. Toronto. Lanisha says, what are some examples of messaging shifts that takes your inspiring messaging and here's my money no matter where they are from? Okay. That takes you're inspiring to, okay. A queen leads people. A freedom queen leads people. She is a mentor. She is a guide. She is not here to be people's friends. While she might become friends with people and lead them at the same time, that's not her responsibility. That's not her sole intention. And so when you're making content, I want you to look at your content and go, and actually I was just auditing a headquarters client's content yesterday. On Saturday morning, I met with a headquarters client. I was talking with her about this. I said, your content right now looks like you're an influencer. Are you trying to be friends with people or are you trying to mentor people? And a friend will say, you're so inspiring. You're so cute. Oh my gosh, I love that. Someone who leads as a freedom queen, as a mentor, people will say, oh my gosh, I learned something from you. You guided me. You taught me something that I applied to my life. You called me out. Thank you. I would love to continue to work with you. I would love to sign up to work with you. How can I make this happen? Okay. That's a great question. Okay. Next question, Jula. Do you think Instagram Lives are a must regularly? Because I always see low views on other accounts. I'm wondering how key this part is. So lives, why are they amazing? Lives are amazing because they deepen the relationship with someone. They allow you to go from like a little taste of an Instagram reel to let's have a real conversation. And the more time someone spends with you, the more likely they are to actually join something that you have and actually say, yes, I want to work with you. So I don't actually ever care about how low views are. I care about the people that are there. Is it the right group of people there? So the first time I ever went live in my Facebook group, one person showed up and she showed up at the end. But I still go live. I still was there, showing up for my people. So I don't worry about low views. I don't worry. I focus on who are the people that are there. Are they the right people? And something else that I know is the people that continue to grow and scale and make money are consistent. Think about it like a relationship. You're dating a guy and you're there with him, and then all of a sudden you're gone. It's like, whoa, where'd you go? And then you come back and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm all in. I'm ready to go with you. And then you're gone. It's like, okay, whoa, that is crazy on my nervous system. If you just showed up consistently for your people and build relationships with people on the other side of the screen, they will know, like, and trust you. They will fall in love with you. Some people joined the headquarters this weekend. And I said, did we just fall in love? Like, what is happening? That's because of our consistency of showing up. Linda says, when we want to make the big moves to become the freedom queens we are, but don't yet have the money now to do it. How do we make big moves ahead of the money? Well, okay, I'm going to share something with you that changed my life. Robbie, my king, my freedom king, is someone who always reminds me to cut the crap. He has this insane ability, which he will be speaking at Freedom Queen Live this year. So make sure you get your tickets for it. By the way, if you go and buy your ticket, come back on the live and be like, how about the ticket so I can celebrate with you. He has this insane ability to just cut through. And this moment changed my life. This is 2021. I wasn't making 10K months yet. And I was in all this chatter, talking in circles, all this chatter, talking in circles. Victoria loves this question. And I was like, I just want to be making 10K months. I just want to be making 10K months. Just want to do that. But I don't have the money, but I need this thing, but I can't let go of this gig because if I let go of that gig, then I won't have money and I got student loan. And he looked at me and said, if you want to make the money, go do it. I was like, oh. Are you spending more time thinking about how you can make the money than actually just going and making the money? And sometimes this triggers people because they're not actually in action or being self-aware of the actions that they're taking and where they're on the mountain. But for me, this moment was very eye-opening. And I actually did this for a client last year. She made like $2,000 in 1 month. She said to me, like, Bridge, I want to make 30K months. I want to make 30K months. I want to make 30K months. And I knew she was in the right place, but I knew that she was entertaining all this chatter about why she wasn't doing it. And I said to her, I'm going to say something to you that my partner said to me once that changed my life. And I said, if you want to make 30K months, go make 30K months. That month she had a 30K month. She was like, whoa, thank you. Thank you for helping me stop self-sabotaging and entertaining all of this and actually just cutting through the noise and going, who do I need to be? What actions do I need to take? Who do I need to show up as now in order to be that person? And so a queen is she's very innovative, and she's resourceful, very resourceful. So for example, like when I first started out, I brought in extra income in order to be able to invest in myself. But at the same time, I remembered that same situation where Robbie said to me, Bridge, just go make the money. If you want to make money, go make the money. At that same time, I had to make a choice to invest in myself. I knew I did. And I invested in this mentor. And it's funny, this mentor, I didn't use any of the things that she taught me in this program. Like, she's an amazing human being, but I didn't use anything. I just knew that I needed to show up for myself inside of this program. This is a real life story. And I remember messaging her and saying, like, I just want you to know that I'm going to make this work. I don't really have the money to be investing in this right now. This is personal antidote. This is a personal story. I'm going to invest in this and I'm going to hit my first 10K month. And I did. And so I don't believe in, we don't have the money. I believe go find a way to create wealth. Wealth is very easily created. And a freedom queen is resourceful. So is it in bringing in money from some other resource that you have? Is it in, for me at that time, I put it on a credit card. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. Like, by all means, I don't want this to be like, Bridget told me to do that. I'm not telling you what to do. This is from my own personal experience. I had to cut through the noise and go, well, who do you want to be? And go find a way. Do not entertain any more of it's not there and it's not. No, solution oriented. What are you going to do? Who are you going to be? Find the way to make that happen. And so I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I can bring in money from this way. I can do this. I have this credit card. I can do this. Da, da, da. But it's all there. And this is where I talk so much about like self-trust this week. You are backed by you are backed by you are backed by you. Don't become someone who's backed on an institution, who's backed on a strategy, who's backed on an algorithm, who's backed on the government, who's backed, like, be backed by you. That is the safest bet that you can ever make, is being backed by you. I'm coming into the chat. And we will drop the Google Doc link. Land it, Linda says. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. I'm gonna go through a couple more questions here. How to create a balance between a monthly membership and individual sessions as the lowest tier offers. So if you have a monthly membership, and in March, we're gonna be doing March memberships, I would make that be like the appetizer, and then the individual tarot sessions be like the 3-course meal. And so people come into the monthly membership, they get a taste of what it's like to work with you. And then you say, hey, come to this tarot reading session for 4x what the price point is. And the whole point of that is so that you can actually spend time with those clients at a really high level, and not everyone's inside of that your high level tier, those individual sessions, just a couple people per month, but you can serve them at a high level. And so I wouldn't do those individual sessions as the lowest tiers. I would actually make those like a mid-ticket offer and go right to your membership clients, because your current clients are your best clients, and say, hey, do you like this? Would you like to upgrade? Okay. Rashida says, how can I have more stable recurring income? I'm shifting between $2,500 and $10,000. I think in your month. So what I would do is something that I teach inside of the headquarters is this wave effect. And in the wave effect, what that looks like is, rather than going through big seasons of like tons of money drop off, tons of money drop off, you're always building in a really stable way. And so the way that I do that is literally through what I do, what I'm teaching you inside of this document, is I go through waves and launches. And so, for example, like this quarter, we're doing a really, really big challenge. And this is going to bring in so many people for our conference, for our headquarters, for our membership, for our mastermind over the course of this year. After this, after I go through a really big launch of a program, then I'm going to go into selling other different programs that are front end offers, like our membership, our March membership program. That's not focused on our recurring stable offers. That's not a recurring income program. But what it does do is it leads to our scalable recurring offers. And so what I would do in your product suite, Rashida, obviously we need to know your movement messaging, we need to know your empire grounds and your entire product suite. But what I would do for you is I would alternate and have this really beautiful wave and flow of selling your recurring programs. So first of all, we need to make sure that you have recurring programs set up in your product suite, but then allowing them to funnel into one another. So that even when you're not selling that program, people are still moving into your recurring income. This is exactly what we did in January, and it was over $110,000 in cash, and we didn't even do a big launch. Okay. Victoria says, what advice do you have to go from one-to-one services to one-to-one to one-to-many? So what I would do is I would figure out what your unique methodology is in your one-to-one services and create a course curriculum or a coaching program curriculum that serves people in a one-to-many fashion. I have this big background in education and writing curriculums and teaching. And something that we always focused on is creating a curriculum, obviously, that's results oriented. That's what you want it to be focused on. But can it serve different types of people inside of that space? Because even though it's a one-to-many program, and even though you're focused on one core result, there are still going to be different types of buyers and humans inside of that space. Think of like a classroom. You have different students inside of that space that have different sort of ways of learning. And so you want to make sure that the way that you build out the curriculum, Victoria, supports all of those different learners inside of that space and still gets them to that end destination. And so that might look like community accountability. That might look like structuring the curriculum in different I was working with a mastermind client on this, different tracks for each member inside, different types of accountability that I shared. And then what I would do if I was switching from one-to-one to one-to-many is I would either take people through a start-stop program of, hey, we're going to start on this date, end on this date, we're going to walk through the entire curriculum, or I already have the curriculum built out and our live component is actually just hot seat, where we implement everything that you taught inside of those courses that are already pre-recorded. Okay. Amber says, Bridge, are the calls more Q&A focused, or how do you do the calls? So the headquarters calls that we meet every other week, what I like to do is sometimes we'll do in the beginning of the call 30 minutes of teaching and then 30 minutes of hot seat. So hot seat isn't like what we're doing today. Hot seat is you coming up, unmuting, and we have a back and forth conversation where I know your business. I know what you're working on. I know what you're actually going through. So it's not Q&A in the chat like this. We do Q&As inside of our membership. It's $97 a month. Hot seat is a different way of leading your people. Other times what we've done is the entire call is a hot seat call where you come up and get individualized support. You get private coaching in front of everybody else. And you get one of those every other week for 6 months. And then on top of the every other week calls, you get access to our micro programs. So just the headquarters alone, you get calls every other week live on Zoom with me. And we actually have one coming up this Tuesday, which I'm so excited for, this Tuesday. But in addition to that, you get our micro programs. And our micro programs, we also meet on Zoom. And so you're invited to be a part of those as well when we run those. Okay. Land it, land it, land it. So, how are you feeling? How many of you, and you can put it in the chat or you can just think about it silently, are on the fence about joining the headquarters, or you're like, I'm afraid, I'm scared, what the heck, what should I do? I want you to know that if you are scared, if you're like, I don't know, I'm actually kind of on the fence, I'm proud of you. And I want you to think about the two options, like I did last summer when I was investing $50,000 into a program. And I said to myself, I can either walk out of this conference and not actually do this, or I can say yes to me, not yes to the person that was leading it, not yes to the group programs. I know that was going to be amazing anyways, but yes to myself. And I just sat there and thought about the different opportunities and the different pathways that I could go down. And I thought, but who am I? Well, I'm a freedom queen. And she's going to take the lead. She's going to do something that scares her. She's going to do something that puts her out of her comfort zone. And so I did, and I moved. And that's how I got where I am today. So what I'll do is I'm going to drop the application link again. Reminder that the bonus for the Dubai mini mine, which I'm very excited for, expires tomorrow morning. In order to get access to that, you have to sign up first, and you have to pay today. Like, it's not just application, you have to pay by today. And then I'm also going to drop the link again for the conference here. If you want to get your conference tickets, you can go ahead and click that link below. And then we will also be sending out the Google Doc via email and also via our Facebook group as well. I want you to put in one word of how you're going to show up this week by implementing the Freedom Queen archetype. Put it in the chat. How are you going to show up? Thank you again for this. So good. Thank you for the love on this call. You are so welcome, Linda. I hope I love and shoved you. Ooh, Sarah, intentionally, yes. Help others. Powerful, consistent, Jula. You're so welcome. Amber, carry movement. See you at Freedom Queen Live. Samantha, I can't wait to see you at Freedom Queen Live. Reminding myself that I am the one. Movement, seen and focused. And whenever you show up this week and you start to question or you start to get off your path, I want you to remember that you are a freedom queen. You're stronger than any sort of algorithm, government, strategy, framework. I am so excited for you, Freedom Queen. I will see those of you inside of the headquarters. Congratulations on joining. I'll see you inside of the headquarters on Tuesday. For those of you that are signing up for the conference, get your tickets. We're actually going to be doing a huge promotion of it starting at the end of next week. So if you guys want to get your tickets before then, click that link. Make sure that you sign up for the conference. We are going to be raising the price. I'm not sure. I have no idea what date we're raising the price yet, but if you want to get in for the pre-sale, make sure that you get your tickets for the conference. Make sure that you apply for the headquarters by the end of the day today and sign up in order to get all the bonuses. I love you all so much. We will be sending out the playlist of everything so that you guys have access to the Freedom Queen Archetype Challenge. And anytime that you need to remember who you are, maybe you've gotten off track, maybe you've forgotten, what are you building? Maybe you just want to take it to another level. You're already making tons of money and you're like, I just want to explode and go to another level. Come back to this Freedom Queen Archetype Challenge. Okay, everyone, have an amazing, amazing Sunday. I'm going to go hang out with Robbie and do some church now. I love you all so much, and I will see you this week inside of Freedom Queen.